I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about today, and it came to mind yesterday. So I got this 360 camera a few days ago, and I was trying to use different ways to attach it to my bike, and using things I had, pieces of like GoPro. Trying to get around buying the actual bracket that actually is made to hold the camera. It didn't work. It wouldn't hold it. The camera's too top heavy. Morning. Long story short, I almost lost this camera twice in the last couple rides. On Saturday with Eduardo and yesterday. And I'm like, okay, this isn't gonna work. But at the same time, I didn't have the money to get the bracket when I priced it. And I searched Marketplace. And sure enough, somebody locally was selling one for half the price. So that's why you're not seeing me constantly adjusting the camera. And it's perfect. So as I was talking to the young man, he's a cyclist, and we were sharing about this hobby we love, you know. He's younger than me, very fit, thinner. And when I told him where I lived, he goes, "Oh, you're in this team or that team." And I said, "No, I'm actually," I said, "I'm not on any team." I said, "I'm just pretty much a solo rider unless I'm riding with my wife or some of the people from the church." And I told them that I wouldn't be able to keep up with the team. I would get dropped, meaning the team would keep going and I would slow down. I'd either slow the whole team down or they ended up leaving me behind and I ended up being a solo rider anyway. Which made me think of this topic. I've been cycling now for, let's see, 12 years. Yeah, 12 years. And I'm talking about since the Walmart bike. Heck yeah, I'm gonna consider that cycling, because even that 1 mile, 2 mile, 3 mile felt like I won the Tour de France or something. You hear that beeping, It's my radar letting me know there's a car behind me. It's pretty cool. Now it's letting me know it's clear. Anyways, riding for that long, not being on an official cycling team, many of you, you're either in this sport because you're older, or you're in this sport because of weight loss or health reasons. And some of you are older and overweight. So what happens to us? And how do we compare ourselves to this typical, stereotypical cyclist you see at a coffee shop, dressed like he was in the Olympics, or she, clopping with their shoes like a duck. And they have beautiful bikes, colorful bikes. It's always a group of 2, 3, 4, 6, 8 of them. And there's no way you're gonna tell them, hey, I like riding my bike too. Not that they would answer you any bad way. I mean, I met some really nice cyclists. Most of them actually. And most of them just love the sport, and they love the fact that you're loving the sport. So a lot of them are on Strava. Strava's like a Facebook for cyclists. It's a place of community. You can see each other's miles, speed, everything, stats, photos, videos. And whatnot. So anyways, back to the team. One thing you can't do when you get into this hobby, this sport, is think that you have to compete with those type of cyclists. I give those cyclists props. A lot of them are younger or thinner or both, or they've been doing it for a long time and now they're in their 50s, 60s, 70s, but they've been riding for 20, 30 years, so they can keep up the speeds, or they have, you know, really fast bikes. That makes a difference too. I can attest to that, because from my Walmart bike to my hybrid Giant that I bought on Marketplace for 4 years, to this Giant Comax 1, it's carbon fiber. I'm the same rider, but a lot faster. But I don't have a road bike. I'm not crunched down like this. And I did that for a reason, a choice. I'm not in this for speed. And this is what it comes down to, what I'm trying to say. Those guys that are these cyclists, the stereotypical cyclists you see, most of them, I'm just speaking for myself, they're in it for speed. They're trying to compete for races or compete with their friends, compete with their team. They are fit, they are younger, many times, lighter for sure. And they have this great competition. I think that's awesome. You have a team of 20, 30, 40 people in your team, and you get to do the same rides, the same trails. By default, it's gonna be competitive. And that is awesome. That's why a lot of them, they won't even look at you, wave at you. They're not ignoring you. They're trying to compete with either the other people in their team or other people in other teams, or their previous own time on that same trail. They're going for it. They're not looking around saying, oh, look at those beautiful flowers, look at that nice tree, look at that creek. Nothing wrong with it, but that's just what they're trying to do. Go for it. For those of us that are older, heavier, or both, if we try to get in the sport thinking that's the goal, you know what's going to happen? You'll ride your bike for a few months, and then it's going to end up next to your stationary bike, your dumbbells in the garage, and whatever other exercise equipment you have that thought it was a good idea. And then you'll end up selling your bike on Marketplace, and somebody like me will come along and buy it. That's a whole different type of person, and maybe that's what you want to aspire to, but right now, you're not. Right now, your goal is not speed. Right now, your goal is just to do it. Right now, your goal is just to get up. Right now, your goal is not to just automatically plop on the couch. Your goal is to say, man, I might not do 20, 30, 40, 50 miles today, but I did some miles. And maybe I didn't go 20 or 30 miles an hour, but I did it. And maybe I did 11 miles an hour today, but last month I was only going 9 miles an hour. And let's be honest, most of us that are heavy, maybe we like looking around and enjoying this stuff because the reason we got heavy is because we never came out to enjoy this stuff. We weren't going hiking, we weren't going jogging, running, walking. We're at a job, we're sitting down, we're trucking, doing nothing, which is why our health is in the state that it's in or was in. So my hybrid, which is it's almost a road bike, but it has a straight bar. It's carbon fiber, has thin wheels, it's fast. And I'm not saying I won't get a road bike someday. I've had this one since 2017, and I love it. But me having these upright bars, straight bars, allows me to actually look around. And I have my head buried like this with my neck hurting the entire time because I'm crouched, trying to be aerodynamic, competing with some unknown person on Strava. You know, the local bike shop in Modesto, years ago, they had this Saturday ride. And we decided to try it, me, Sharon, a bunch of us. It was like 30, 40 bikes. People showed up in their spandex, looking like it's gonna be the Tour de France. I felt a little intimidated, but I didn't show it. And within 2 miles of that ride, we got dropped and left behind. At that time, I thought that's what I was competing with. And I couldn't even get close to the speed they were going. And I could have allowed that to discourage me, destroy my spirit. And this bike would have ended up in the garage dusty, eventually on Marketplace for somebody else to buy. But you know what I did? I chose to never do that again. I'm not saying I never will. I don't know. I mean, only God knows the future. But I told myself I would not try to compete with that because that's not what I'm doing. I'm not trying to gain speed. I'm trying to gain days to my life. That's what this is about for me. I don't care how fast I get somewhere. I mean, of course I want to build my own endurance and my own speed, but that's different. Competing with yourself and competing with somebody that's 10, 20 years younger than you and 60, 70, 80 pounds lighter than you, you're asking for discouragement at that point. Why do that to yourself? Why take something that's so enjoyable to turn it into something ugly? This is an amazing hobby, an amazing sport. Why turn it into something else? Because most likely if you're heavy set, you're already discouraged. Whether you show it or not. You make yourself the butt of the joke so nobody else will. You laugh with people when they laugh at your big serving. To show that it doesn't bother you, but you know it does. But you know what? That's different. That's changed. Now you're here and you're putting miles in. And you're getting healthy and you're getting exercise. This is a nice little stretch here. My wife asked me, how many miles are you doing today, this morning? And you know what? Because I don't have nobody to compete with, I said, not sure. Depends how I feel. I'm in my head. I think I'm gonna go for 15. But I said, I was cramping last night. My legs were cramping yesterday. I said, depending how I feel, how I warm up, maybe I'll just do 10. You know why I can say that? Because I'm not competing with nobody. Because whether I do 15 or 10 or even 20 like I did Saturday, I'm doing it for me. And guess what? I enjoyed it the whole time. And I looked around, enjoyed the sights, enjoyed the nature around me, and didn't turn it into something ugly. As humans, we tend to ruin the things we love because we turn it into something else. We see that happen in Scripture. We see that happen in the Word of God. We take the blessings of God that we should be grateful for, and we turn it into something else. And by doing that, we ruin it. We ruin the very blessing that God gave us. Imagine a person right now in the hospital that wishes they could ride. Or the person that can no longer ride. What about your past self that couldn't ride? I've been looking for the footage. I have a short footage of my first ride. I wanted to document it with the Walmart bike. And I remember doing 1 mile. And that 1 mile, I thought my heart was gonna explode out of my chest. And I still had to ride that mile back home. That mile was such an accomplishment for me. And sometimes when I don't do 20 or I don't do 15 and I'll do 10 miles, 9 miles. And if I ever get discouraged of that, I want to watch that film. That's why I want to find it on my social media somewhere. As a reminder. Don't complain about the 9 or 10 miles. Remember what it was like when you did one.